My ex and I have been divorced for 11 years. We're both remarried, so we have a nearly adult child together. She has several step-siblings on my side, and then 2 half-siblings on her dad's side, who are young children. We never force her to babysit, but she'll do it in exchange for other chores and babysits for other people's kids for extra cash. And I think she secretly likes it more than she lets on. She's a good kid. She's saving up for some things. So unusually, she offered to babysit her dad's kids as much as he would let her during her recent 2-week stay. He jumped at having a few date nights with his wife. I barely know his kids, so I can't make a judgment, but per my daughter, they're boring and have too much TV and tablet time. But on my ex's defense, they both work full-time jobs, whereas at our house, she has a live-in grandma and a stepdad that works from home, plus more older kids. So it's easier for us to keep the kids from having too much screen time and give them attention. And we have a backyard. They live in a condo, but at the end of her visit, her dad called me obviously upset and said that daughter was going to be grounded for her last night with them because she screwed with the Wi-Fi. I thought he meant parental controls or something, so I was concerned. And then he clarified that she had been turning off the Wi-Fi while babysitting and telling the kids it was broken and saying, "Oh well, I guess we'll have to play a game now." She openly told her dad it was because she was bored. I'm not sure if either kid mentioned it to the parent, but I guess not enough because it took them a few date nights to realize that was happening. Once I fully understood what my ex was saying, I couldn't help laughing and saying, "You're mad at her for playing with your kids instead of just watching TV with them." And he was like, "She's not their parent. It was too controlling. She lied to them." So I was like, "She did you a favor." They even did a craft with her, and he got upset at me and said this was where her attitude came from. Ironically, her grounding was taking away her devices for the night. She didn't mention the punishment to me, but I'm still in hot water with my ex for undermining his parenting. He wanted me to have a talk with her and potentially continue the punishment or at least the conversation in some way, which we both do for actual offenses, and I refused. She's not the kind of kid who would tell her dad or stepmom to their faces that she thought their kids should have less screen time. But he might have picked up on her feelings anyway, so maybe that's where this is coming from. Not the idiot. I'm laughing at your ex for this too. Your daughter is resourceful, creative, and engaging. You see the value in her decision. He has limited views and is not applying critical thinking. No punishment is necessary. She deserves a raise. What's sad is, I bet it was their best time as kids had in ages. Your ex-husband is an idiot though. The children were not being ignored or neglected. It sounds like what he's really angry about is that your daughter was challenging his authority and not because she actually did a bad or harmful thing. I think you should let your daughter know you're on her side and suggest that she not babysit for her father's other children again. It's not healthy for her emotionally to be at the mercy of her father's controlling behavior. Wow, she turned off the Wi-Fi on the little kids and did stuff with them. I think he got mad because now he's going to have to do something real with the kids instead of putting them in front of a screen. He's going to have to interact with them. What in the world? Who does that as a parent? Yeah, he's mad she's a better parent than he is. I'm honestly sad for those kids. But they're young and glued to devices. Is their older sister, who they probably think is cool anyway at those ages, actually wants to spend time with them and get them interacting and thinking. And that's bad, according to the father. He sounds like an idiot, and your daughter sounds like a good kid. Keep supporting her. She might need it more than you realize. Some time ago, my middle son, a young child, told me he likes flowers. He then asked me to buy him some. I told my husband, and now my son has a small collection. He treasures it a lot. We also gave my other 2 kids flowers the first time, but they threw them away immediately or gave them to their brother. Anyways, my sister and her family were over for dinner, and her kids and mine ran off to play. Sometime later, my eldest comes to me, saying my middle son is sad. He wasn't crying yet, but he was holding back tears. So I asked him what had happened, and he told me that his cousin had gone to his room and taken his flowers. When I asked him why his cousin would do that, he told me that she just thought they were pretty and wanted them, so she took them. It's tears. I went to find her so I could get the flowers back, and found her with her mom with the flowers around her. I explained to her what happened, and my sister just stared at me in disbelief. They're just flowers, is what she said. I told her that yeah, they are, but they belong to my son and he wants them back. I told her that my son would definitely share if she just asked politely. She rolled her eyes and said, but they're just flowers. What's a little boy doing with them anyway? I told her that saying that was a whole other issue, but I just wanted the flowers back without causing a scene. She told me that she'd give them back after her daughter was done playing with them. So I went to her husband and told him what happened after my niece began bending the stems, and he looked embarrassed. And immediately, he told me he was sorry. He went to his daughter, got the flowers, and gave them back to my son. He then talked to his daughter, who also apologized. I thought that was it, but my sister was fuming the whole time. Before leaving, she began arguing with me, calling me real matures for apparently snitching to her husband. She said I'd given them another reason to fight now and that she hopes I'm happy with my stupid flowers. Actors. Edit, the flowers are fake, by the way. But idiot. If she and her husband fought, it's because he could recognize that she was allowing her daughter to be selfish and inconsiderate, and she was encouraging that bad behavior. Boys are allowed to like flowers too, Almeo. I'm glad your brother-in-law apologized and used it as a teaching moment with your niece. Of course men like flowers. There are tons of gardeners that happen to be men. But from personal experience, looking at some beautiful flowers feels extra good after busting your butt in the sun all day. This another reason to fight is telling enough that this most likely isn't the first time dear sister is acting entitled or teaching her daughter stuff that isn't the best manners. You sound like an excellent parent, and what about standing up for your son in a kind and polite manner? I'm glad he loves his flowers. And it's the idiots here. I'm frankly amazed that you had to go to her husband instead of asserting your authority. Hey niece, you took those from son's room without permission. That's bad to do, so give them back now. If your sister protested, you condone theft? Wow, I hope you haven't been stealing from me too. Should I check my bedroom to find out what you've stolen? Ask or make a scene when a scene is a necessary establishment of boundaries. I got married back in June, and at my wedding, my now sister-in-law was wearing an outfit with a white top and a black bottom part. I didn't say anything to her at the wedding, but went through my photos with the photographer, and I felt they were a bit silly since the top part of her outfit was the same color as my wedding dress. In particular photos, it really made her pop out. Since they are my wedding photos, I requested the photographer to make my sister-in-law's top to be grayish instead, if possible, but we only edited the ones where she was standing next to or near me, by the way. When my photographer sent me the finalized version, I distributed them to my family members. My sister-in-law got upset and asked why I edited her white top. I said it was because she stood out too much. Sister-in-law requested the original photos with her white top to be sent. I contacted my photographer. She said she could send them at a cost since they were additional photos. So I asked if she could just send the raw over without processing, but it was still extra. So I told my sister-in-law if she wanted the original photos, she would have to pay the cost. She could give me the extra money and I'll get them for her. But to give him money, $1,000 isn't a lot to me. Later, his parents told me I shouldn't give a teen $1,000 in cash, and that was imprudent. They asked me what he would buy, and I said whatever he wanted. They asked me not to do it again because he'll expect that every time. They don't want him to be able to be independent because they'd lose their free babysitter when he turns 18. Open a bank account in your and his name, so his parents have no access, and put his money there for him. You're not the idiot, Opio. Absolutely, this one could slide some petty cash his way anytime he feels like it with a bank transfer, and a bank card is way easier to hide than $1,000 in cash. He could start stashing away for college or a nice spring break trip. At new video game console he wants, whatever he's interested in, and the parents won't be able to take it from him, even if they wanted to. He have a talk with his parents about the fact that parentification is child abuse, and preventing him from working could constitute financial abuse, especially when paired with trying to bully him into spending the money on their other children. Financial abuse and parentification combined. And offer the kid a place to live as soon as he turns 18. But Terry, they owe him more in babysitting costs. Good for you, OPO. His parents are jealous you didn't give it to them. A new woman joined my mom's group about 2 months ago. At first, she seemed great. Nice, funny, smart, and has 3 awesome young kids. First, we like having her around, except Lauren, and I noticed something. Every single time we'd get together, Sherry would try to make it into a wine night, hang out to let the kids play at the playground. In the evening, she'll bring the wine. Hanging out after school on a sign-up day evening. She'll bring the wine. Hanging out after school on a sign-up day. Wine time. The kid's birthday party comes around. Well, she's got the beverages, including the wine. Every single time we hang out, she has to have a glass in her hand. The glass turns into a bottle. The issue is, she does not seem like she's had an entire bottle of wine. So about 2 weeks ago, we had all planned on getting the kids together and going to a great water park. But obviously, water plus alcohol is a dangerous combo, especially with kids. So when Sherry pulled out a pint of Tito's and waved it around, telling everyone she had a little treat for the moms, I felt like I had to say something. I said, "Oh, I don't think it's good for us to mix alcohol at a water park like that, especially with the kids around." She said it would be fine. She does it all the time. At this, I was kind of more alarmed. So when it was just the two of us, I said, "Sherry, are you okay? Do you maybe need to talk to someone about your drinking?" She looked shocked and said no, and then acted like I was crazy. Then she said she had no idea where I got that idea, that her drinking was absolutely normal, and that where she's from, they drink and drive all the time. Atlanta, it's perfectly normal for people to drink at social gatherings. I said, okay, and I was just concerned because I've never hung out with her when she hasn't been drinking. She got defensive and told me that she didn't like people up her butt monitoring her. After that point, her mood was soured for the day. Lauren told me that it was a good thing that I said something, but two of the other moms said that it was going to cause a huge issue, and that now Sherry's talking crap about me being a busybody. I wasn't trying to shame her, but I know how being a stay-at-home mom can turn people into addicts quickly, and I didn't want to see her end up that way. Am I the idiot? Dude, no, it's not normal, or it may be common, but it's not okay. That this behavior has been normalized, but I don't think it's a good thing at all. Not the idiot, because this isn't healthy. And I'm really sick of the whole wine mom thing. Dado, I cannot stand wine mom culture. Acted as I saw it as a way to normalize mothers being allowed a glass of wine or two, occasionally, without people clutching their pearls. Now it's normalized, socially acceptable, functioning alcoholism. Yep, and then add in the whole mommy juice and wine o'clock and cutesy jokes about drinking wine. It's not healthy. I don't care if you drink occasionally, but it's a problem if you need to break out the wine every day. A pretty fancy question here. The wine-carrying woman brings alcohol to every gathering of moms plus children. It's not appropriate to bring alcoholic beverages to playdates for children, so your concern about her behavior is correct. However, what you've described are not adult-specific activities where alcohol would be acceptable. You did not mention a parent-only get-together where adults might chat without the children present. Has she ever driven home from those events with a blood alcohol level that would qualify as a DUI, even though she didn't seem impaired? Listen, on average, a full bottle of wine would take about 10 hours to metabolize. You are not the idiot. OPDC, you very appropriately and compassionately shared your concern. While she might not have reacted immediately how you wanted, perhaps you planted a seed that might be the basis for her behavior change. Yesterday, I recognized that addressing the issue with her at the water park, where we were in fact alone together, wasn't my best choice. I guess I had never confronted a problem drinker before and didn't really know what to say. I'm glad I know that drinking an entire bottle of wine in one sitting, multiple times a week, is not healthy behavior.